well. We have a very special guest speaker who offered to do this. Some of you had known this before, but I said this earlier. We took the reins of this in less than 30 days, and so it was kind of like, what do we do? And we need like this and that and the other thing. And Hank Rouse is my upline. He has been an amazing mentor to me. He lives in Chicago currently. He flew all the way out here for almost a week to train me. And I'm not one of his I'm not Greg Plaskett. Not yet. But this is the kind of story that we have, that I share from my own upline, and so I wanted to share this with you guys. He graciously offered to come here today and to speak with us and to give us some information. So I got to pull up his titles here because I don't remember any of them. All right, so Hank is a 4-star diamond coach, Success Club All-Star Legend, November 2014. He's a 6-figure earner, which is definitely something that I'm aspiring to fill in that gap in my life. And then he was invited to attend leadership retreat in 2012, 13, and 14. So if we can all give a nice round of applause.
Hello everyone, so let's see. Who's been to Super Saturday, their first Super Saturday? The first one. Stand up, 2, up, come on, stand up. Events are like letting jet fuel to your business, quite honestly. You get to meet your local coaches in your local communities. People across the street, across the town from you. People you can meet with at a coffee house, talk about the business, do a fit club, work out together. Regardless whether they're in your organization or not, it doesn't matter. It's a chance to meet people in your local community you can begin to forge friends with and become business partners regardless of downline, crossline, so on and so forth. So who are, let's see, we got our guests. How about Success Club All-Stars?
Yo,
Come
yo!
on, stand up. How about Legends?
Yo, yo!
Who knows what Success Club is? Okay. How about, do you know what a Success Club All-Star is? Anyone? 12 consecutive months in a row, exactly, of hitting Success Club. There's All-Star 5 and All-Star 10, meeting 12 consecutive months of either 5 or 10. If you have a combination, then you're a Success Club All-Star 5. How about a legend? What is a Success Club legend?
24 months.
Correct. 24 consecutive months, same thing, 5 and 10. I'm a Success Club All-Star legend for SC5.
Nice.
What are some of the perks for achieving Success Club? Right?
Free stuff.
Well, yeah. Free stuff. Let's break it down. So you're getting free customers, but they're not like your normal customers when it comes to, say, an Emerald level coach, correct?
Correct.
You're getting commissions from that initial order. So you think 24 consecutive months, 1 to 2, possibly 3 customers a month on you, not always, but typically a home direct order of some sort, that adds up to a lot of cash, financial rewards. Another one, you now have a new customer to work with. So you're getting additional customers per se than just by being an Emerald level coach or higher. You're also getting swag. Let's see. Well, we'll talk about my trips and stuff later. Shirts, books, cash.
Sweatpants, bobbles.
Bobbleheads, towels, sweatbands, yeah, you name it. I've got a bunch of it. So when I used to lead Super Saturday, my home in Chicago, I'd have that stuff laid out. So my coaches, my people, my guests, whether they be part of my downline organization or not, could see some of the benefits that I had myself earned by achieving Success Club. How many struggle hitting Success Club? Okay. So when we're struggling hitting Success Club, is it because we're struggling for the 5 points, or is it because we're struggling to find 3 people to help save their life? Right? Same thing, different point of view. So let's go ahead and step into then my presentation, please. So everyone stand up. Everyone. All right. If you have a PhD, sit down. How about a master's degree? Sit down. How about a bachelor's degree? How about an associate's degree? Have attended some college. Graduated high school. Okay, awesome, that's what I wanted. The point is, I didn't graduate high school, and here I am, a 6-figure earner. It's not about your thinking. It's not about your education. It's about your dedication. It's about your why, and we'll get into that as well too. But if you're thinking you're struggling in the business of education, it's not education. It's not formal education. It means that you have all these resources. The Coach Training Academy, the NWCs, your team calls, your team Zoom calls, your, right here in this room. Coaches in your local community to reach out to and ask questions, to meet with, have a working meeting. It's not about education. Okay? Next slide, please. So, let's start with my why video.
Hi, and welcome to Finish Life Well. Today I am actually at a very unique location, and it actually is a weird place to be. And I don't know if you've ever been in a spot like this or a place like this at this point, but I'm inside of a home that was in the middle of a major fire, and everything inside is burned down. It's crazy. As you look at this, I mean, look at the ceiling and all the damage that's been done by this fire. As we're walking through this house, the fire alarms, and the smoke detectors and all actually were melted, and they kind of dripped down. If you go over here and you look at the soot that went and filled this entire house, look at the soot on this window. It's just, it's amazing. But at the same time, it's humbling because you realize the power that something has in somebody's life. And it has the power, fire has the power to heat our homes, it has the power to cook our food, to do great things. It also has the power to destroy and to hurt. And what I want to talk about today is what I believe is probably the most important thing that you can consider in your life as you decide how you want to live your life and how you want to finish your life. I always talk to people that I work with in our business on a regular basis about establishing your why. What is your why in life? The reality is your why is going to be that thing that drives you to do whatever it takes in your life to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. And it will determine whether you finish life well or not. A lot of people go through life without a why, and everything is just, by happen chance that things happen. And that's a decision too, for not having a why. But let's talk about what is your why, and what does it need to be? Because you need to have a life why that will drive you to do whatever it takes to succeed, to achieve the things you want to achieve. I like to share it like this. The reason why we're in this house is I always share the story and put you in a word picture position so that you can better understand the importance of a why. Let's imagine this. Let's say that you're at work one day and you're driving home from work and you turn the corner to go home and you see your house is engulfed in flames. There are firemen everywhere, there's a crowd, and so you slam on the brakes, you fling open the door, you run to the front of that line, you run to the fireman and say, "This is my house. What's going on?" And they're like, "Hey, everything's okay. We're going to put out the fire as best we can. We're just really sorry." My question to you is, would you run inside of that burning house to grab stuff, to grab papers, to grab furniture, to grab a TV or a computer? Probably not, because you put your life at risk. you would possibly get hurt in the process or even die. So let's change the scenario a little bit. Let's say you're driving home from work and you turn the corner to your home and you see your house is completely engulfed in flames. And you slam on the brakes and you fling open the door and you run to the front of the line, you get the firemen and you say, hey, this is my home, what's going on? They say, listen, we're doing all we can to put the fire out. One of your kids are inside and we're going to do all we can to find them. What are you going to do? You see, most of us would risk our lives and run into that burning house to save our children because of the love that we have for them. We would run inside. We wouldn't worry if we got hurt. We wouldn't even worry if we possibly would die in the process because those are our kids. Those are the people that we love and that we care about. Now, how does that relate to you then in establishing your why? I want to challenge you with this. I believe your why needs to be that child in the fire. It needs to be that one thing that will drive you to do whatever it takes to succeed. It needs to be a deep-seated emotional attachment, driving you to not worry about whether you're going to get hurt or whether you're going to have hurt feelings or if you're going to make mistakes periodically now and then. But you'll do those things that you know you need to do to succeed, to finish life well. Let me suggest this. I believe for myself, my overall life why is to love God and to love other people. And everything I do needs to revolve around that. My faith needs to show that and demonstrate that. My relationships with my spouse, with my kids, with my friends, with my coworkers needs to reflect that. All that I do within my job needs to be about serving and loving people and pointing people back to God. My health and fitness, I need to be healthy enough and fit enough to be able to do those good things, those loving things, those serving things to people. How do I spend my finances? Does it reflect serving and loving God and serving and loving people? Or is it a selfish thing? How do you establish your why then? Because if that's the core why, then you really need to be thinking about it. And how do you integrate that within each area of your life? I always like to tell people this. If you're trying to establish your why, keep asking the question, why? Why establish my why? What is my why? And keep digging deeper and keep asking why. Well, if it's to love God and to serve other people, then why? How can I change that and make a difference in these different aspects of my life? So hopefully today, this word picture and this incredible, backdrop of a fire-consumed home can hopefully have a vivid picture in your life that'll stick with you for a while to really help you establish that why. And once you establish it, let me suggest this. Write it down. Write it down, put it where you can see it. On your mirror, in your bathroom, in your desk somewhere, maybe on a window, like in front of my desk, I have it on my window. In your car, on your dash, put it somewhere and constantly be thinking about your why and how it can help change your life and help you finish life well. So until next time, finish life well.
Great video, right?
Yes.
So, my good friend Doug Fitzgerald. So what was my why that got me to this here place? Quite simply, I never wanted to say, I'm sorry, I can't do whatever ever again in my life. Whether it be a trip with friends, to a dinner party, to a night out with the boys, or whatever, I was so sick of living paycheck to paycheck that I did everything I could my first 2 years as a coach to get here. That in a nutshell. So, who would like to share their why, regardless of power? If you're struggling to define your why. Someone wants to stand up? Please.
My why was after coming out of a freak accident, major depression, and cancer diagnosis and chemotherapy, I wanted my life back. I realized that my son had almost lost his mom on a few occasions and he needed to have his mom. He needed to quit having to be the adult and taking care of me. And it was really powerful. And I know people that don't have that connection with Beachbody. It's just kind of a whatever we do the workouts. To me, it saved my life. It gave me purpose. It gave me the ability to work out again. I lost 60 pounds in the first 6 months after chemo. and I've struggled since that point through the reconstruction and a lot of other physical issues going on. So I put some of that back, but I'm refocusing, and I want to help other people. I deal with a lot of cancer victims, basically, and it's really sad because so many don't have support. They don't have an income. People lose their homes, they lose their families, they lose their lives to this horrible disease, and Beachbody is a way to kind of prevent or help to prevent that from even happening to a lot. And I'm really inconsistent. I just kind of am. Memory has a lot to do with that, but I'm consistently inconsistent, and the people that I am told I inspire a lot of other women because of what I've been through, and my why is helping other women kind of shake off that, oh, I can't, and it can never be better, and this is the best I can do. Because we can fight back, and we can, the world is our oyster. We can do whatever we want. It's just in our heads the biggest block. I know my inner voices is my biggest stumbling block, and has been. But it's, we can do it. It's just keep trudging forward, and my falls, other people appreciate that I share them, and I'm not always bubbly, and my why is, hey, I'm real. Love me or hate me, this is what you get. And I want other people to have that same determination to get past whatever their bad thing is.
Okay, my homework for you is to shorten that down to 2 sentences. Just so we have our 30-second commercial as to why we became a coach. Same thing with your why should be roughly 2 sentences long. Very short, succinct, might take some time. Great why, just long. Let's shorten that. Who else has a why they would like to share? Please, stand up and announce your name.
My name is Lay. Hi, everyone. My why is 2 years ago, I'm type 1 diabetic. And so I was in the ICU from Wednesday to Sunday, Thanksgiving. That's my why. I will never be there again.
Hi, my name's Red, and my why is because my son was turning 18 2 years ago, and I realized that there was no place for him to go. So my goal is he's autistic, and my goal is to build an assisted living autistic home for other autistic people.
How many of you are parents and young ones, for example, still trying to struggle with that why and what it means and why I should be building my business? How many of them, just raise their hands, are kind of struggling in that section? Okay, so for those, when I'm talking to somebody on my team, and I find that type of coach, and I've asked, so how do the college funds look for those kids? Or did you yourself have to work and pay your way through college? Do you remember what that struggle was like for yourself? How would it feel like to you to be able to set aside funds weekly, monthly, or to the point whatever, where you're simply paying your child to go to school? It means you're paying their student loans. They're not coming out saddled with student loan debt, right? That can become your why, right? Let's talk about the how. That's what everyone's doing. The how did I get here, right? Okay, so next slide, please. Consistency, of course. What does that mean, though? Continue. Persistence, what does that mean? Next. Patience. Success is guaranteed. It's only a matter of, now this is a question. It's a 4-letter word, and I have a prize. Whoever has the answer.
Work,
Time.
Yep, we said time first. Hold our heart rate monitor, by the way. Now, don't tell Jemima or John Gelfand. They would yell at me for that. But success is in fact guaranteed. It's only a matter of time with patience, consistency, and time. So consistency means we're sending out our invitations. We are putting together our emails, our PMs, whatever social media avenue we're using. We all do exactly the same thing at the end of the day. We just do it ever so slightly different. based on whether it be our career background, our academic background, our niche, our social media presence, our magnetic marketing aspect, we have that, our wear and share, posting pictures of our Shakeology, our sweaty workout pics. It doesn't matter what it is. We all do the same thing. It's how we post in what I teach as an organic manner. I post it in an organic manner, which then inspires people to ask questions. Hey, I have my date with Sagi today. I have my date with Shaylee today. Wait, who's that? I thought you were working out with Jason. Or whatever. That's an organic manner. Whereby, if I'm Beachbody, fitness, clean eating, no one, or not, I shouldn't say no one. If I'm constantly coming from that angle, I may be turning somebody off. All right, in my sphere of influence. In my case, I was 2,200 friends on Facebook up until like Thanksgiving. And then something happened and I was doing 100 to 200 friend requests a day. Awesome, game on. I love that. So I'm at 4,000 whatever. That's 2,000 plus new people in my sphere of influence who are seeing what it is I'm doing. Regardless of Beachbody, regardless of Shakeology, regardless of clean eating. People who are inspired to reach out to me. Hey Hank, I'm struggling with X. Can you help me? Sure, game on, let's go. Right? That's what I do as a coach. Find out what your struggle is, and then figure out how I can help you. If I can, of course, pair you with a program, Shakeology, thanks, right? Coach, opportunity, income, so on and so forth. It takes time to figure that out sometimes. And the best way to figure it out is, one, do. You know, as Jeff Hill tells us, it's the start that stops most people. So how many people have been fear has stopped them from starting something? A fitness program, right? Maybe a new social media feed of some sort, going back to school, whatever, right? Okay. For me, I've always been a lean guy. Siggy scared me to death. Seriously, like, I would love looking at that, but that have never happened, never happened. I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Shailene got me there, though. With Payo, helped me to develop my flexibility that I needed in the functional movement, and now Siggy's helped me get to where I want to go my next goal. So, living your life out loud is posting in a non-salesy fashion, which leads people to want to join you on the journey of your story, which you're living out loud via social media, right? Do you see how that works? That is that consistency, persistency. You can't tell a story in 5 minutes, or 3 weeks, or 3 months, or whatever. People are sitting behind the scenes, regardless of whether they're reaching out, they're commenting, they're liking, they're sharing, whatever. They're watching you on your journey, right? They're seeing your workout pictures. They're seeing your transformation pictures. They're seeing the before and after of a program, right? They're seeing your, you know, your Shakeology and your fried chicken and all the stuff we're not supposed to eat, right? Yeah, so we still eat that stuff. It's living your life out loud, but not Beachbody, clean eating, Shakeology. If that's all I am, I'm turning people off. Because I was someone before I became a coach, right? I had kids, I got married, I bought a house, I bought a car, got a new job, whatever. My audience should still see that type of posting material, right? Okay? So as I teach my team, and I yell at them all the time. Debbie's in the back row. She loves my people. There should be a balance. For me, the balance is there should be 3 non-Beachbody, clean eating, fitness, nothing about those, anything, before I see a Beachbody type post. It could be an inspirational quote, it could be an inspirational video, it could be a funny picture, funny video, I don't care what it is. But something that doesn't in some way lead back to fitness, Beachbody, or clean eating, right? Then I should see something. Would it be a sweaty workout picture or some sort of something, but not a sales post. I mean, if you look at my wall, I don't think I sell anything on my wall. Except for when it's Black Friday and Summer Sizzle. I really don't do sales. I pull people in my lead systems, into my application process, into my appointment system, and that's where I engage with them one-on-one. So Facebook for me is nothing more about attraction marketing and bringing people into my sphere of influence deeper, or then I form them and see where and how I can pair them with a program. And it's not about necessarily pairing them with a program, it's seeing where they're at. For example, 99.9% of my business is people already leading healthy, active, fit lifestyles. To me, that means they're already spending, $60, $80 a month at Vitamin World, GNC, Target, Walmart, Sam's Club, doesn't matter. They're already investing in some sort of supplement. So $60, $80 a month. I show them Shakeology. I show them the benefits of Shakeology. And I don't talk about Shakeology as a weight loss, or a protein drink, or what other terms I don't use. And to me, Shakeology is my nutritional foundation. I would not be here looking like this. If it was not for my nutrition. Well, I think there's a transformation picture you'll see later on. No, something like that. It is my nutritional foundation. So when I say nutritional foundation, like for example, I'm in the gym working with one of my buddies, and I say nutritional foundation, I'm not eliminating the power lifter who's trying to gain mass, or I'm not eliminating the person who's trying to lose 5 more pounds, who, if I say it's a meal replacement shake, well, that negates people who aren't in that sphere. They're not looking in that market for that type of product, right? So nutritional foundation allows me to form people on the benefits of Shakeology versus pigeonholing them into one piece of how you can use Shakeology. But it's not what Shakeology is, my nutritional foundation. Or healthiest meal of the day.
Yeah, I think so. Stealing that, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So when we talk about the uses, let's talk about that. For example, when I'm forming somebody, and there's a whole application intake process that I use, but I find out one of my first questions is, what is their current weight and what is their goal weight? We all want to know that, right? If I'm 100 plus pounds to lose, I've just tanked out their self-esteem, or I've taken it to a very negative place. I very quickly jump over for the ladies. I ask, what does that, even though I might be able to see them on Facebook, what does that look like in a dress or pant size? Current and goal. And then blouse, current and goal. That takes it to the positive piece. They were just shopping 2 weeks ago when they saw a blouse, they would love good wear again, right? Versus the number on the scale, as Johnny said earlier. The number on the scale is nothing, really. I don't even own a bath scale. I own body composition monitors, yes, but they're not bath scales. When it comes to the men, I always use the lowest common denominator. So for men, it's jeans, not slacks. Because if I have, let's say for example, I'm a warehouse worker, I'm probably not going to wear slacks very often, right? But almost every guy I know wears jeans pretty usually. But every weekend, or you're a suit and tie guy, you're going to wear jeans. When it comes to shirts, not everyone's going to own a button-up or wear a button-up often, so it's a t-shirt. So I'm always talking dress and pant size for ladies, blouse size, and then jeans and t-shirt for the guys. So if I talk to you now, and for whatever reason, you choose not to engage with me, in other words, you don't want what it is I have to offer, it's fine. And now all of a sudden you come back 2 years later, it's in my notes, I pull it up, and I go, jeans and t-shirt. I know exactly where we've been at the last 2 years. Have we moved or have we not moved, right? Okay. For example, let's say I'm talking to a woman who's in her 60s, 60 plus pounds loose, excuse me. She's on a walking program. Great, she's doing something, right? I'm of course applaud that, of course. Let's say, for example, this is my first time speaking with her. I'm not going to come out of the gate with Shakeology and pie or whatever.
You know, I'm gonna, great, so how many miles a day are you walking? How many minutes? Tell me what your program is. And let's say, for example, she's walking 20 minutes 3 days a week. Awesome, great. How about for the next 2 weeks, we move that to 5 days a week? Is that possible? Yeah, okay, cool. So at the end of the conversation, I'm gonna come back and I'm going to make sure she's committed to those changes. That could be like, setting an earlier alarm clock, it could be whatever. But I'm gonna make sure that I have a buy-in for an agreement to those changes. When we do the follow-up and 2 weeks later, great, so how are we doing with the 5 days a week? Is that going very well for you? Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's say example, in this case, over time, I learned the woman is of limited means. Social security, public assistance, it doesn't matter. So I'm building a track record with her. I'm getting her moving more. And say at month 1, well, let's say month 2 even. Hey Sally, so how are we doing? We're still doing 5 days a week? Great, cool. So how are we doing? I've only lost like 4 pounds. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. She knows I'm a personal trainer. So we need to be doing something different, right? So what do you think your biggest struggle is? Mind you, we've already been talking about more exercise and nutrition all along. This isn't coming out of the gate. I've been building a relationship and trust for over 2 months now. Well, I see your post about Shakeology, but I don't really understand what it is. Shakeology, right? She's already self-sold herself on Shakeology, right? Because I've gradually taken her down this road she realized what she's doing is not working. It's not working as fast as she likes to. Okay? Same thing with fitness. In this case, so she's 60 plus pounds to lose. I already know which 3 programs I'm going to put in front of her. As to how I do it is I send them 2 preview videos from her back office. So in this case, it would be Slim and 6 and Brazil butt lift. So which one do you like better? Which music do you like better? Which trainer do you like better? Which moves can you see yourself doing? Because in the end, if I find the program you're excited to do, that's the one you're going to want to do, therefore you're going to succeed at doing it. If I make P90X a chore, you're not going to do it. Personally, I can't stand P90X. I've never done more than a week of P90X. Can't stand it. Drives me crazy. But I love Les Mills Pump. I love my Body Beast. I love Pio. Let's say, for example, the first 2 videos aren't all that awe-inspiring. Then I'm going to send her a 3rd video. And I really stop at 3. Because if you're not engaged by one of the 3, you're not ready to buy in and I'm wasting my time. Next, I will follow up with you. We'll continue in the walking program. I'll follow up again in a couple of months. Well, 2 weeks typically. But I'm saying 2 months is when I'll come back to that conversation. I need to provide proof that my systems work. Make sense? Okay. So the 3 videos in that case would have been Slim and 6, Brazil butt lift, and I love my Pio. I have done 2 rounds of pump. I love pump. It wasn't until Pio that I was going to say, well, yeah, and do it from start to finish without issues. I travel monthly with the business, either with the business or indirectly for the business, with the business being Beachbody. So Pio's the one I can eat. I've got it all burned. It's in my laptop, and away we go. Yay! I don't worry about equipment. I don't worry about anything. I can just get in and do it, and it's short. So part of, in this case, say the 60-year-old woman. For certain people, I need to build a trust, a relationship. So here's where your free challenge group and structure really comes in. For example, let's say I'm doing a 14-day water challenge. Let's say I have all these 2,000 some random Facebook friends, right? People I will never meet in my life until they become a coach, probably at Summit, the cruise, or any other trips. I need to build a relationship with them before I can sell them. We don't sell, right? So if I get them into my 2-week water challenge, they lose 3 pounds, right? And then I follow that up up with usually a 3 to, well, I just my coaches 21, 28, or 30-day clean eating challenge, whereby, let's say for example, they lose another 13, 14 pounds. So I built this track record, they've lost 16, 17 pounds in roughly a month and a half. It means my systems work. I'm working on their behalf, right? So when I come in for Shakeology and combat, if I feel that's what the next best step is for them, I have not just the relationship, I have this success track record, that gets me to where I want to go. That's why I'm a Success Club All-Star Legend. Every one of my people go through this system. I'm a systems guy, if you know what that means. Everyone goes through my systems. They graduate from one group to the next group. My coaches, same thing. I don't do Coach Basics groups. I have my downline coaches do my Coach Basics. But everything we do is based on graduation. You graduate from phase 1 to participate in phase 2, so days 31 through 60. If you're not participating in phase 1, you can't graduate to phase 2. That's a waste of my time, right? Yeah, Debbie knows my system very, very well in the back. Who here, by the way, is part of Team Bearcat, Tribe, Keith Callahan, Bob Lucido, Stan, Greg Plaskett, Lisa Hansen, who else? Shane Meissen-Fryer, Jessica Vanderberg. Right. Your name is?
Jeremy Hamilton, Team Tribe, Eddie Fritz.
All right, cool. All right, so those two are part of my organization of over 3,500 coaches in under 4 years. So, but I lucked out. So
I like
I did. Greg Plaskett. So my upline sponsor was Bob Lucido. He sponsored somebody who owned a yoga studio who sponsored Greg Plaskett, his high school buddy. Greg Plaskett went 5-star diamond in 14 months. At the time, it was the company record. Now Miguel, what his name is, in Canada has the record, 5-star in like 6 months or something. And now I just 5-star to second business service.
Yeah.
You know, but so I looked up. And now I have 4. So on my larger national team, we teach part of your goal is to find your 5-star diamonds, regardless of sponsorship. I have 4 of those, all in my strong leg. But regardless of sponsorship, that's how I get the 3,500 coaches. That's how part of how I got to being a 6-figure earner. Johnny, right? She's not personally sponsored by me. She's in ATV, so 3rd level. If you know what ATV means, it's called your advanced team volume. You'll learn more about that when you get to like 1-star, 2-star. She's on my strong leg. If I'm lucky, I earn $1.80 for every bag of Shakeology she sells, because it means a matching check bonus for that diamond who was the top of her organization. Not a lot of money. Yet I came out and spent a week with her to train her. That's how passionate I am with my coaches. Training them, building them up, figuring out what's going on in their businesses. In this case, her systems needed help.
I had no system.
So let's talk about the systems a little bit. So for me, systems are simply, it's how I track my people through my timeline. My timeline meaning you come into my sphere of influence, i.e. we're having a conversation. Doesn't mean we're a friend on Facebook. You're somehow in my sphere of influence. We're a friend on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I don't care. We now have had some sort of dialogue. That's where the timeline starts, regardless of what you've been watching for nearly 4 years now. So for example, someone comes into my sphere of influence. Now I'm an IT guy, so my systems is, I'll say, complicated. 4 years now. It means that they get an Outlook contact record, because Outlook then syncs to my iPhone and my iPad. I have over 7,000 contacts in my devices. but they get a contact rate. That becomes my basis for their notes. So when we get to I put up hurdles, so I use the applications to drive the appointment. So for example, you come into my sphere, welcome in the back, go ahead and please have a seat. I hope you're here for Super Saturday, right? Okay, welcome, yay! Okay, good. So they come into my system, they come into Outlook, we get some notes. Depending on the forming via Facebook PM, that's where most of my forming begins. I'm taking notes, I'm asking questions. So what are your goals? What are you doing? Da, 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 da. Just a general idea. If this is someone who's trying to waste my time, or somebody who's possibly serious with changing their life, quite honestly. So let's say, for example, it's a 25-year-old male. He's skinny. He wants to pack on some muscle. Okay, cool. What are you doing? Nothing. Okay. Well, it doesn't happen overnight, right? So what do we need to do to fix this? So what are you doing? Are you going to the gym? Are you walking? Are you running? What are you doing? You're going to be doing something. It doesn't just happen overnight. Well, I'm watching what I eat. Okay, cool. So what does that mean to you? Well, I'm specifically eating more protein. I'm tracking my protein intake. Okay, cool. So what are your numbers? What do you mean my numbers? Well, for a male looking to gain weight, muscle weight specifically, he should be eating 1 to 1.25 grams of protein per body weight, or goal weight, depending on where that goal is, where his starting point is, to make sure he's giving his body enough protein to build the mass that he wants. So in this case, if let's say he's 140 pounds, he's eating 90 grams of protein. He's not even meeting his daily requirement as I teach him. So, okay, I could plug in Shakeology here, but I have no trust. I have no trust yet, right? So I'm going to then, so what do you do for life? Or what do you do for work? Do you have a desk job? Do you have an active job? Oh, all right, here we go. You have an active job. All right, so the calories we're eating are being burned because you're on your field, right? Versus a desk job, right? So I can figure out what the caloric burn is, regardless of specifics, to then use that to help in my forming process as to, quote unquote, I believe you should do X because you said X, Y, and Z to me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. In the end, that's the magic phrase right there. So back here, 140 pounds, eating 90 grams of protein. He's committed to buying some dumbbells, doing some push-ups, doing some light workouts at home to try and get going. Okay, cool. All right. So here we are, and for me, when it comes to customers specifically, I put them on a 2-week call schedule. That's what I find works best. A week isn't long enough. 2 weeks is right on. Because if I get to 2 week, sorry, Hank, I haven't done any of my homework. Sweetie, if we were in the gym, it'd be $40 an hour. We're not going to do this for very long. You get a month, and then that's it. I cut you loose. You're not serious. Same with my coaches. I tell them, you didn't do your homework, and that's a week ago. Didn't you do your homework? Sweetie, this is $100 an hour. If you know your homework, you can't be on my schedule. And I do 40 at one point, I had 40 coach interns, each with an hour-long Zoom call, plus my personal business time. So I'm one of the few people who truly does treat Beachbody like a full-time job. I really do, 40, 60, 80-hour weeks to get me here. Back when I was way down here rank-wise, my first 2 years as a coach, yeah, I did 80 hours a week to get to where I wanted. Remember that why? I never want to have to say, no, I can't afford to, whatever. I knew this was the vehicle for me. I come from an MLM family, had done many things in my 20s, but had never succeeded until Beachbody. Because I had something, not that I just believed in, something that I understood. And at the time, I was still an independent personal trainer. So my traveling business professionals said, hey Hank, it's 8 o'clock and I'm in Atlanta on a Thursday. Here's the 7 pieces of equipment in my hotel's fitness facility. Create a program for me for the week. I'm like, I'm in a dinner party at the moment. Can I call you back later? No, we don't do that anymore. Everyone was paired with a program. in their luggage. Insanity was probably the big one at the time, because it was simple, easy. We didn't have P90X2 yet, let alone 3. I mean, I've been coached for 4 years, so we've had a lot of programs come out the last 4 years. But Insanity was the simple one. At that time, anything that didn't require equipment was really geared towards the women. And if it required equipment, it was pretty much P90X, and therefore the guys. And thank God the catalog is so much more diverse now, because it was hard. Plus, for you, you have a question? Go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you,
That's
but
fine.
I kind of didn't want you to digress too far
No.
out. Being that I'm not a personal trainer and don't have that type of experience, because I like your system of going from like the 2-week water challenge to the clean eating, then to the program. You get a phone call from somebody like that and who's in the same situation, and me being a female and not necessarily understanding the macros and the Sagi methods and all that other stuff. If you didn't have the experience that you have now, how do you help that guy?
In the end, and I saw that other hand over here, you are selling your own personal brand of nutrition. What that means is, so pulling it to your story, you lost, it was 80 pounds, correct? Okay, so you're going to talk about how you lost that 80 pounds. So for me, Sean teaches it now, but I call it conscious decisions. So conscious decisions is the choice from from 2 to 3 workouts a week is better than 0. Means that every bite I take, every meal I have, doesn't mean I'm eating the gluten-free pasta, whatever, but it means I have a choice to see what I'm putting on my plate to make healthier choices. So for example, you're going to talk about the choices, the minor choices you made. Yep, I got rid of white potatoes and I switched to sweet potatoes. I stopped eating hamburgers and switched over to chicken burgers or turkey burgers. Just those itty-bitty little things that were easy to implement got you to part of the bigger picture and end result, right? So that's what you're going to talk about. You're going to talk about your personal brand of nutrition, basically, as well as how each program comes with not only a meal planner, the books, right? Plus, club members have the online access. So in my case, the club membership is primarily for those folks who are wanting to either follow a program to a T from a nutritional standpoint, which is very rare, to those people who are, I teach them to use it as an online recipe book. So let's say I have there's like a lot of snippets here. I'm hoping this all makes sense. It wasn't part of my program or whatever. So let's say I have a woman, regardless of her goals, I find out she has, regardless of goals meaning her specific weight loss goal, but I find out she has some young ones, and she's living on public assistance. So in this case, if she's come from Beachbody as a club member, she has access to the club membership, right? So the online meal plan. So my specific homework for her is, of course, doing her program, right? And I have a specific language I use there as well. But when it comes to the club membership component, meaning the online meal planner, part of my homework is to be, going through there and selecting 3 healthier meals that we're going to swap out with 3 less healthy meals, i.e. the scalloped potatoes, the mac and cheese, the whatever. So I'm not cooking for one, I'm cooking for the family, and I'm helping the whole family eat more healthfully, correct? Well, when you start eating more healthfully, you have more energy, which then, can in turn, you want to work out. Or, if I go from 0 workouts to 2 to 3 a week, I'm now working out, I'm building that hunger, now I'm going to make a conscious effort to eat more healthy. They all interplay. So regardless of the financial situation, I can come in either way and get progress, traction, going. And I simply just continue to spin that up till I'm at a point whereby either they're on psychology or they're a coach or they're working on 5-6 days a week. Whatever that is specific to them and what makes the most sense for them. in my case, wholesale buyers. You don't know what that term, right? Wholesale buyer means, right? It's the discount coach has no interest in running the business, but they want that 25% discount. And quick verbiage on that one. So, Shakeology, $130 a bag, right? Okay. Coach price, roughly $100 with taxes. Okay. And then I have that, $15.95 BSF, business service fee. So if I still take that net cash savings of roughly $10 over a year, isn't that one free bag of Shakeology a year? Okay. So that's the verbiage that I use. I mean, it's more than that, but that's what I use. And in a nutshell, that's how I package the wholesale buyer opportunity. And then, depending on where you're at in your journey, let's say you're over here, and you're doing combat with me and whatever, then I'm talking about being a product of a product, how, you're being a walking billboard for your business, so your co-workers, your fellow parishioners, your PTA members, your social media people are seeing you transform. Therefore, they're going to be naturally inclined to reach out and ask questions. It's all part of living your life out loud, right? All right, so there's a question over here. No? Okay. Trying to think. Okay, so let's go back into the presentation and jump forward to... Okay, so sacrifices. So I already said how I was 40, 60... Yes, question?
Can you speak up just a little bit?
Yeah. How about everyone move forward? I'm not a public speaker, I swear. Come on, move forward.
She can't hear you.
Okay, I'll try then. So, someone move me now. Come on. I apologize, I'm not a public speaker. Alright, so sacrifices. So I said how I worked 40, 60, 80 hours a week in the beginning as a coach. You probably now know via NWC, Summit Training, other, sitting at your computer, dinking around on Facebook, looking at pictures of your third cousin's wedding. That's not your business, right? Okay. It takes time to realize I'm on Facebook. I'm working. No, you're not. You're not doing anything to advance your business. However, you can do that and still advance your business. Meaning, for example, I'm dinking around on Facebook. I'm making it a point to post on other people's content, their pictures, their videos, whatever, in a way that, of course, is not salesy, but in a way that's bright and uplifting and supportive, maybe motivational, which then inspires them to click up and see who I am, right? That they might, send me a friend request. Hey! Step one done, right? Or let's say, for example, I'm a guy. Well, regardless of the sexes, but a guy. I'm not a sports guy, but let's say, for example, I'm a fan of the Bulls. The Bulls are playing Steelers football. That's how bad I am. But not a whole lot. So I know Steelers football. So Bulls, I know it's basketball. So then football, whatever.
King.
So Kings.
Okay, that'll work. So, the Kings. So, for example, I'm a big Bulls fan. I could go out to the Kings page and post something blasphemous. I hope you guys lose, whatever, right? As a way to cause an uproar, which then some people might be inspired to come back and like me based on what I'm saying. It's how you post and what you say is the piece there. Or it's all about trying to bring people back into your sphere of influence, whereby they see what you're doing as a coach. I call them armchair coaches. They don't know really what you're doing per se, but they know you're leading this healthy, active, fit lifestyle, whereby they're inspired to reach out, have a conversation, be able to form them. So, for me, I can be blinded by that light. It's that constant piece of bringing people into my sphere of influence to see where I can take that. That's my job as a coach, to see where I can take that conversation. that conversation has led me to being a successful all-star legend. I have people, hey Hank, I want to join your team. I have no idea what that coaching thing is, but I want to join your team. I see you travel all the time. Like, game on. Of course, I have a specific onboarding system for people who have no knowledge of what a coach is versus somebody who's been through a challenge group and has some reference for what a coach does. I'm warm. And I'm running out of time. So, sacrifices, real quick. Before becoming a coach, I was a high-level IT guy. I was a director of IT. I was binge drinking every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night because I hated my life. I was on call 24/7. It was just, I would blow up at the littlest thing. And it drove my friends crazy. Surprised we're still friends. So my first sacrifice was I communicated to my core group friends, hey guys, I'm no longer going out every Thursday, Friday. I'll be up every other Saturday. All that time was used to work on myself, personal development, and invest in my business, invest in my online activities. DVR. Do you realize that the most common shows now, there's like 12 to 17 minutes of commercials? So I don't watch any live TV. I'll tell you that story, but everything I watch is now on DVR. So my business hours are basically 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday. So my personal business, my customers, my coaches, my engagements, all that stuff, 9 to noon, that's all that stuff. Processing my POV, all that stuff. So that when I'm de-stressed from my 5 business centers, actually there's 4 at the moment, but whatever. Yeah, I know. But by the time 1 o'clock comes around, I'm desensitized from my personal businesses, so I'm able to be more crafty in my one-on-ones with my coaches and my customers. Okay, so, and you'll see some of my craftiness here in a later slide here. I think, yes, this one. So, DVR, social life, sacrifices, next. Dream boards. All right, this is one that I love, because I think so many people are used to this, a dream board is this, and it's one big pain, and it's my goals, and it's my dreams, and I see it, and I teach it so much differently. So, first one, someone who's married or has a significant other. So, your goals, your spouse's goals, and then how does that come into the family goals, right? So, if I have little ones, Mommy, the door is closed, I'm busy, right? Take pictures, please, if you want. By bringing the family into their own different, shall we say, sphere or focus, you can bring the family into the conversation that is the dream board versus your goals. So don't knock on this door. These are mommy's working hours, right? Okay, next. So I'm a single parent. Same thing. I have my goals. These are my kids' goals and how they come together. And this line represents goals that cross. So for example, whatever, doesn't matter. Wife, husband want to take the kids to Disney World. Okay? So it's the wife's business is going to pay for it. So 3/4 of this is, over here. Bless you, by the way. Meaning that she needs that time of the business to make it happen. But for him, it's the visual indicator. He needs to be taking care of the kids while she's making this happen, right? It's that give and take of oldest child, go bug your father, whatever it takes, so you can make the time sacrifices that build this, right? Okay, see my ideology here. Or, let's say I have older kids. And this is great for some of my NorCal coaches in the background. They have kids. Well, not Debbie, she's older, but I have older kids. Older kids create their own dream board. That next picture. So child 1, child 2. In this case, then, those dream boards are either on the wall or on the door to the office space. Meaning, you don't knock on this door. This is your visual indicator to leave me alone. I'm building what it is you want to do, right? So, So one crafty way to look at dream boards. Another one is I have a coach whereby for her, she comes in and out of Success Club pretty often. So what she's done is she's developed a system of colored dots and stars. I don't remember the specifics, but the colored dots and stars represent challenge packs and coach signs. So that for her, she puts dots on their boards representing challenge pack sales, coach sign, which as a result, the long-term goal is paying for the dream board, right? So there, in this case, the kids are seeing the monumental build-up for what is what they want on the dream board, right? So it works really well for the littler ones. But then there, you have that cause and effect. You have that reward type system, right? So that is dream boards. Pictures, it is, take your own creative license. But it's one way how dream boards work. Dream boards can also be not just you and your individual goals of what you want, a new house, a new car, whatever. What are your team's dream boards? I always have my team post their dream boards. If I don't understand their dream board, I have them do a video and post it, okay, and explain it to us as a team. They post their video of their dream board. I could have a team board, a dream board for my team. My team is now 3,500 coaches. I can have a dream board for my PS coaches. That can mean, hey, I'm going to be working with, or I know Coach XYZ wants to be 5-star Diamond's coach. So they become part of my PS coach dream board. So they're part of my focus. Am I giving them enough time? Am I QAing their wall often enough? Am I QAing their business enough to help them get there? For example, I have a coach in LA. She's with LAPD. And she's always posting about murder this, rape that. How do you possibly get mad? I understand she thinks she's doing this from a PSA standpoint. I get that. I understand that. But how do you think your audience is perceiving this? Negative. I don't want to see this. I get what you're doing, so let's create a new one, a new brighter space. In the end, that's what you want your Facebook presence. Okay, some of us are using different social media platforms, that's fine. I teach my team Facebook first, because you've mastered that. The lessons you learn on how to form people, start conversations, so on and so forth, you can then relate to anything else. Twitter, Instagram, Google+, I don't care. Facebook is easy, we all have it on our phone, right? That's part of it. But I want that bright, uplifting environment. That's when instead of people say, Hank, I want to join your team. Get him out, let's go. All right, next. All right, so I'm like way over my time, I apologize. But so let's talk about some of the benefits of Success Club. Well, this is Leadership 2012. In this case, I had to pay for this out of pocket. My flight, my hotel, all of that. I didn't attend Atlantis. I could have. It would cost me $1,000 out of pocket. That was a Success Club trip in 2012, I believe. Yes. 2013 was Disney. I had no interest, didn't go. Could have got. I earned it, but didn't go. Isn't it gorgeous?
Dana Point?
Yes, Dana Point, exactly. Yes. I mean, and they go all out. I mean, you've been to Summit and all of that, yeah, leadership is nothing like Summit. Nothing. Whereby our room keys say Success Club on them. They just go all out. Whereby here we have this elbow. They have at the time, Dana Point had this elephant on display. Some cities do bulls. Some have done Peanuts characters, and they artists then paint them and then they auction them off or whatever. But anyways, so the hotel had won this elephant. So they're broadcasting the Success Club leadership, onto this water. Gorgeous, gorgeous resort. Next, so 2013, paid lodging. So $400 plus my flight was paid for. So if my flight is paid for, seat upgrade. Leadership Retreat 2014. So we changed locations, so we, fast. We had changed locations because we had outgrown. To get the leadership retreat, prior to 2015, you had to be literally in the top 300 coaches as a 2-star, paid 2-star or above. And then Success Club points would then earn you lodging and or travel allowance. We changed it whereby it's now 5-star and it's your elite points, which you'll remember those later on down the road, if you don't already know, which then get you those perks. But in the case of Success Club Leadership Retreat, so a new venue. This was in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is awesome because I have a team of roughly 75 coaches in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area. And so we were able to have a cool team dinner at where they all came on to a restaurant called White Chocolate Roast. Delicious. Anyways, we had a team dinner, and here I had my lodging pay. I didn't earn my airfare, I got my lodging. So again, another perk from not only being a 2-star, but from achieving Success Club. Next. All right, here's a video of this one. Now, I'm 42, and I've never been on a water slide. 1, I don't like heights, and 2, I hated my body. Hated.
There's a water slide there?
There's a water slide. Well, hold on.
No.
You'll hear me in a minute.
Man.
Anyways, it's for the audio must be way down, but it's funny. So one of my coaches, when I take it as a guest, was like narrating. Oh, there's Hank. And It was fun. So, but that's me coming on the side. I've never done that, and that was one of the things that Beachbody had afforded me. Loving my body enough to then try the water slide. So Success Club Leadership Retreat 2015, again, a new resort, we're going to San Diego, the Coronado Spa, San Diego. How would it be a 5-star? But again, those perks still exist out there for you, either for flight and hotel. All right, so those are just the Success Club trips. The leadership trips. Let's talk about the Success Club perks that I've got. So SS Beachbody, I had a balcony side cabin, $1,500. Beachbody paid for $950 because that's the amount of cruise dollars we could earn for that. So I paid $550 out of pocket. Really, Beachbody paid for it because my Beachbody income versus my employer-based income paid for it. Pictures with Sean and Tony. In this case, I had not only the the max we could earn was $950 towards our cabin, which was a free interior cabin if you chose the base cabin. And because I had all 12 months in Success Club in 2013, yeah. So I had a $500 onboard credit, which was cool. I had 8 of my coaches, Johnny and her husband Michael were there. We had a team dinner, just the 8 of us, as well as I gave them each a nice little globe, which sits on their desk as a reminder that we're a team, we work together, and perks. Next, Cancun. Who's all going to Cancun? Whose Cancun trip is paid for? I want to see more hands, this is how you get, not only do you get to the trips, but that's how the trips are paid for. Whereby in Cancun, the maximum billing is $1,000 for the week. You can earn $1,000 in what we're calling Cancun dollars, which pays for your trip. Therefore, there is no out-of-pocket for this trip except for your flight, right? And in this case, because I was Success Club All-Star last year, I get something. I don't know what it is.
It's probably I think it's resort dollars. So
Yeah,
I think it's the equivalent to 500,000. I think again.
Yeah, well, yeah, we earn resort dollars, but it's all inclusive. So your meals, your alcohol are all included.
Right.
But so there's some sort of cash reward. I don't remember what they call it or what the amount
Success Club 5 was like 500 and then or something like that. And then
Well, yeah, back in the day, right? It used to be if you achieved all 12 months we're talking the calendar year. So All Star and Legend is consistent 12 months period. When we're talking in the calendar year, so January through December, most years, right, it's a $500 cash benefit for SC5, $1,000 cash benefit for SC10. There's some variances within some of the years and we kind of play with that. So right, so I think it might be a $500 basically sitting on my bed check, I don't know. Sometimes it's a check, sometimes, you know, in the case of the cruise, it was an onboard credit. Oh yeah, well no. So yeah, it's a $300 travel one, so that's what it is. So I think, I could be wrong, but regardless, my room is paid for. Alright, so pop quiz. Now let me go ahead and set my timer, and I'm way over, I apologize on time.
You are fine.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you. So you wouldn't fire me?